everyone. You're welcome to Network Tips. So, in our previous video, we discussed about containers. We get to understand what container is and also difference between containers and the virtual machines. So, in this class, we'll be discussing about Docker. We get to know, we get to see different essential Docker commands which we can use to build, test, and also deploy our software applications. After that, we're going to pull an image from the Docker repository, Docker Hub repository, and they run it as a container, and you get to understand the difference between an image and also a container as well. So, having said that, what is actually Docker? Docker is a software platform that allows us to build, test, and deploy our application quickly. Docker will package our software applications for us into a standardized unit called containers, which we discussed in our previous class. Now, this container is going to contain everything that this software application needs to run, including the libraries, the software system tools, the code, the runtime, and dependencies. Using Docker, you can quickly deploy your application and scale it in any environment as you want. Now, having discussed that, let's see how we can use Docker to how we can install Docker on our operating system. So the easiest way to learn Docker is by going to docs.docker.com. So you can come here, you can see on this your left pane, you can see install for Mac, you can see install for Windows. You can also see for install for Linux operating system and different distribution that we have. So for Windows, you simply download the exe file and you follow the installation wizard. Very, very simple. You can also use the command line version of it that is made available on this documentation to go ahead and install it. So for this class, I'm making use of a Ubuntu machine that I spin up on AWS console. So if you want to follow along with me using Ubuntu, you can also use this guy. I love installing my stuff via terminal. So if I type Docker, it's going to prompt me all the necessary commands I can use to install Docker, which means that Docker commands are not yet available on this system. So I can use sudo app, then install docker.io. Then going to hit enter. It's going to analyze my system, show me all the dependencies that will come along with this package, which I wish to install. And if I type Y and hit enter on my keyboard, it's going to try to download this package for me, and it starts unpacking it for me. And after unpacking it, to start setting and installing this package for me on my system. So once everything is done, we should have Docker command available on our system to start using it. So if I type Docker now, I'm going to see list of all Docker commands that I can use. You can see it's quite a lot. We're going to get to learn the most essential ones that we'll be using in our day-to-day activities. So, and for troubleshooting as well. So when you install Docker, the Docker daemon most times will not start running. So most times you need to do sudo systemctl status to see the status of your Docker daemon. For example, status, then you have to type Docker to show the status of which service you want to see. So for my own, what I'm seeing that this service Docker, the Docker daemon is actually running on my system. So I don't need to do anything. But for most users, the daemon might not be running. So you need to start it by using sudo systemctl, then start Docker. It's going to go ahead and start Docker for you, and if you run that this system status again, it's going to show you that Docker is running. So having said that, let's see if we have any Docker image on our system. So I'm going to type Docker images. It's going to show me permission denied because I don't have permission to run Docker commands. Simply, if you want to run Docker commands, you have to run it as a super user. So that's what it means. So I have to use a sudo Docker images. I'm going to see I don't have any images currently on my system. You understand? Another way to type Docker commands without prefacing it with the sudo, without typing it as a super user, is to add in the current user which you are making use of, or adding that user as a member of Docker group. So my user is Ubuntu. I'm going to do that. I'm going to use sudo user mod. I'm going to use -a to add this group, to append this user into this group called Docker. The name of the user is Ubuntu. So if I type this command and hit enter, I'm not going to hit enter. It's going to I'm not going to hit enter because it will require me restarting my system before this change will take effect. So I'm not going to hit enter, but you can hit enter if you don't want to be typing this sudo in front of every Docker command. So you can hit enter on that command and reboot your system. And once reboot this instance, and once this instance comes up again, this you don't need to be typing sudo docker again to to run every command of Docker. So, having said that, let's see how we can pull our first Docker image from Docker Hub. Docker Hub is simply where container images are stored. It's an open source where they store Docker images, where they store container images. So here I want to pull down nginx, for example. Nginx, now I've installed nginx that previously in this class, where I installed it physically on the machine, but I later uninstalled it. But this time around, we're going to run this nginx as a container on our machine, and we can see how we can access it externally on our from our web browser. So simply, it's going to give you a documentation telling you what nginx is and how you can use this container. So you can go through this documentation and you can see what it is, and very self-explanatory. So you can go to these tags and see different container tags that we have. So if you want to pull Docker nginx image, you simply copy this command and paste it on your terminal, and it will pull the latest version if you did not specify the tag that you want. So it's going to pull this latest version for you. If you want to pull a specific version, you have to specify the specific version which you want to pull as well. You can see different specific versions and the operating system architectures that it supports. So if I go to my system now and I paste that docker pull nginx command, it's going to pull it. Okay, I have to run this guy as a super user. It's going to pull that images. Notice that Docker is simply pulling different images for me. So Docker is made up of containers, is made up of layers of images. You understand? That's the beauty about containers. So any next time if I want to pull another version of this container now, and this if this image is already existing on, is one of the image I've pulled while pulling this one, it's already existing, it's not going to pull it while pulling that other version, because because the image is already existing on my system, which means it's going to save me, it's going to take me lesser time to download that particular image. Let me show you quickly what I mean by that. So let me say I want to pull this guy. Which one would I pull now? Okay, let me pull this nginx Perl, for example. Now if I come here and if I paste this command docker pull nginx Perl, and they have to run it as a sudo again. So you can see, notice what happened. It took me lesser time to pull this particular image because every other layer of image is already existing on my system, because it came with this latest that I pulled already. So me pulling this one now, yeah, it's already here, so no need of him wasting time again to download it. So it took me lesser time to pull this one. So that's the beauty of containers. If I do docker images, you should see like two images on my system now. So you can see nginx, then the tag Perl, you can see nginx, then latest as well. So let's go ahead and run this guy, this image now. So sudo docker run nginx. Which one do you think is gonna run if I didn't put a tag? Of course, it's going to run the latest. So if I put it like this, If I type it like this, it's going to run my nginx for me. So my container, my image is currently running now as a container. So that's the major difference between images and container. Images is when you pull it down on your Docker system, but container is when you run that image and it to become a container. It's now running on your system as a container. Now I can't really do anything on this terminal because it's running, uh, it's hanging, it's running in the background. You understand? So the best way to run Docker images, Docker containers, is by running it as a detached mode. So it can give you room or opportunity to do other things on this terminal. So I'm going to use Control C to cancel this, to come out, to exit from this terminal. Then I'm going to rerun this my container again by using sudo docker. This time around, I'm going to run it as an interact as a in detached mode. So I'm going to give it a different name. I'm going to give this guy my nginx. You understand? That's the name I'm going to give this my container. Then I'm going to expose a port. The port I'm going to expose is going to be port 80, and the container port is 80. How did I know that? From the documentation. Remember, that's the essence of reading documentation. If you come here, if you scroll down, you should see the port telling you that, yeah, this 8080 can be anything. I can even call it 8081, 8083, because this is the port I'm exposing to the exposing externally. But this second port, which is the container port that is bind to the container that the container is listening on, cannot change. It must be the same. So I'm going to go back to my terminal, and I'm going to run this guy as in detached mode by using the flag D. Then I'm going to run my nginx. Then that's all. That is the only command I need to run this guy. If I hit enter, it's going to run my container. And if I do sudo docker px, I'm going to see my container running currently now. So what is telling me simply, this is my container ID, this is my image name, this is my entry point command. Don't worry about what this is. I'm going to show you when we are building our Docker file. Then it's showing me that this guy started off 7 minutes ago and it's been up for like 6 seconds. 7 seconds ago and it's up for like 6 seconds, and it's allowing everything 0000, which means anything, to come in via port 80 and to talk to this container on 80. So any traffic that comes in via port 8080 is going to forward it to 80. That's what it means. That comes into this machine via 8080 to forward it to 80. That's what it means. The same thing with this one is for IPv6 as well. This one is for IPv4. Then my container name, which I specified when I was running this container, when I was running the image, as 80. So how can I access this guy? If I go to my AWS console, I've already made sure that my security group that will have 8080 allowed on everything from the world. So I'm going to go there. If you don't have it, you can edit your security group. You know how to do that already, and add that rule to allow everything. So I'm going to copy this guy. It's my IP address. Come here, do http colon, then paste my IP, then colon 8080. You have to put this 8080, otherwise it will not work. And if I hit enter, you can see welcome to nginx, which means this guy is hitting that Docker container. That way it is. So let me show you some other stuff you can do here. Now, remember, you'll be wondering, what of the other container that I ran? Where is it now? So if I do sudo docker px, it's just going to show me only current running containers. But if I do -a, it means show me all the containers, but the one that stopped and the one that is running. It's going to show me that this is it here. So this guy was created 4 minutes ago, but it was it exited. So how might be wondering, what actually happened to this container? Why did it stop? You understand? I can use the command sudo docker logs. Then I can pick the name. So if you didn't give a container a name, you understand, just like like I did previously, it's going to automatically generate a name for you and give it. So I'm going to use this guy uh, and paste here. It's going to show me all the logs of that container, what happened, why the container is dead. So you can see. So it received signal 2, which means I should stop. That's why it is dead. And the exiting code, you understand? Just showing you some information about that guy. So what else can I do on this guy? Let me say I want to log in into this my running container to see the file directories, and also because this guy is actually a machine, you understand, a small image Linux machine running. So I want to log into this small image machine, see the file directory just like the way we are seeing here as well. If I do list dash all, you can see my file directories here. You understand? If I do list slash home, you understand, you can see I have Ubuntu user here. You understand? So I want to log into this guy, to this machine, this Ubuntu Docker machine, the Docker container, and see what is actually running there. So how can I do that? I'm going to do sudo docker exec, then dash interactive terminal. Then I'm going to type which container did I want to log into, my nginx. Then I want to access it via bash. Bash is Linux terminal command line. So if you use bash and bash did not work, you can use sash. Sash is the older version of bash. So bash is the latest version of uh, of sh. So either of the two will work. I'm going to hit like this. So notice my terminal prompt has changed to root. So I'm currently logged into this container. If I do ls, you're going to see that this directory I'm showing seeing now is different from this guy now. Let me show you. If I do this home, you can see there's nothing on the home directory. Let me switch to it. You see nothing there because there is no user created here, just empty home directory. I'm going to come out from there and you can see nothing there. So I'm going to exit from there by typing exit, and it will bring me back to my normal physical machine, my normal instance. So having said that, that will bring us to the end of this course. With these few commands that I just showed you, these are very, very key and essential Docker commands that you will be making use of day in, day out when administering or managing container images. So that will bring us to the end of this class. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video.